Welcome back, treasure hunters, to Vintage Universe Coin. Right now you are looking at a crusty, forgotten old jar, but inside this glass prison lies a financial supernova waiting to explode. See this? A filthy, grime-covered 1961, 1969, and 1971 Jefferson nickel. To most people, it's just 5 cents of junk, but to the elite billionaire collectors, these are miracle strikes worth a literal fortune. We are diving deep into the microscopic world of full steps and bicentennial eras that could turn your pocket change into a luxury estate overnight. If you've got a dirty nickel or a drummer boy quarter sitting in a drawer, do not spend it. You are 1D mint mark away from retirement, so grab your magnifying glasses because the hunt for the billion-dollar coin starts right now. Don't forget subscribe button. Let's get started. First up. High-stakes world of numismatics. The hunt for a 1961 Jefferson nickel isn't just a hobby. It is a pulse-pounding pursuit of a legendary treasure that hides in plain sight within the dusty corners of old jars and forgotten registers. While millions of these 5-cent pieces were struck at the Denver Mint, with their iconic profile of Thomas Jefferson and the majestic Monticello estate, only a handful of miracle specimens exist that can command the price of a luxury estate. The true magic lies in the full steps designation, a rare metallurgical feat where the steps on the reverse of the coin are struck with such crisp, razor-sharp precision that every single horizontal line is visible to the naked eye. In a year where the Denver Mint was plagued by worn-out dies and mushy strikes, finding a 1961 D with these perfect steps is like finding a needle in a haystack of solid gold, with high-grade examples shattering auction records and turning ordinary citizens into instant financial titans. Imagine the sheer adrenaline of realizing that the humble nickel in your palm, featuring the defiant words, "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," is actually a hidden masterpiece of American history worth more than a fleet of sports cars. The 1961 Jefferson nickel is notoriously difficult to find in mint state 67 or higher, because during the early 60s, the minting process was aggressive and often resulted in coins that looked granular and worn before they even left the facility. Collectors are currently scouring the globe for the full steps variety of this specific date, because its rarity is almost unparalleled in modern coinage history. When a specimen surfaces that has managed to survive 60 years without a single scratch or a bag mark, the bidding wars at elite auction houses reach a fever pitch, as billionaire investors compete to own a piece of perfection that defied the odds of industrial production. But the 1776-1976 bicentennial coinage takes this excitement to an entirely different dimension, serving as a glittering monument to the American spirit that could potentially bankroll your entire future. These coins, minted to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the United States, are easily recognized by the colonial drummer boy on the quarter, yet the standard versions in your pocket are merely the tip of a massive financial iceberg. The real fortune belongs to the rare 40% silver-clad proofs and the mind-bending era varieties where the minting machinery went haywire, creating unique anomalies that should never have existed. If you find a bicentennial coin where the design is doubled, a phenomenon known as a doubled die, or one struck on the wrong metal planchet, you are looking at a historical accident that collectors value at millions of dollars because it is a one-of-a-kind survivor of a bygone era. The sheer scale of the bicentennial boom means that some of these coins are effectively winning lottery tickets that have been circulating for decades, just waiting for a sharp-eyed observer to claim the prize. We are talking about quarters and nickels that possess unimaginable worth, because they represent a specific moment in time when the US Mint attempted something experimental. While most people see a simple e pluribus unum and a date, a professional numismatist sees the microscopic luster and the strike depth that separates a 25-cent coin from a $3 million asset. These rare USA bicentennial coins have the power to change your fortune overnight, as the demand for high-grade certified historical pieces has skyrocketed in recent years, making treasure hunting in pocket change one of the most lucrative secret industries in the country. One must look closely at the 1961 Monticello nickel for repunched mint marks or tripled dies on the reverse, where the words United States of America appear to have a ghostly shadow behind them. These errors occurred when the master hub struck the die multiple times at slightly different angles, creating a visual masterpiece that serves as a fingerprint of a mechanical glitch. In the past, these coins were often overlooked as mere curiosities, but today's market has transformed them into high-value assets that hedge against inflation and economic uncertainty. The rarity of a 1961D with a full steps reverse is so extreme that some experts believe there are still dozens of these multimillion-dollar gems sitting in old piggy banks, completely unrecognized by their owners who assume they are just old nickels. The narrative of these coins is a thrilling saga of rags to riches, where a single 5-cent piece can be the catalyst for a life of absolute luxury and prestige. Every time you handle a nickel from 1961, you are touching a relic from a year when the world was changing. The Cold War was intensifying, and the US Mint was churning out currency at a breakneck pace. This high-speed production led to the very errors that make the coins so valuable today. The haste of the Denver Mint created the scarcity of full steps strikes that now drives the market into a frenzy. To own one of these coins is to hold a billionaire's token, a small circle of copper and nickel that carries the weight of a legendary financial legacy, proving that sometimes the greatest treasures are the ones we handle every single day without a second thought. Do not be deceived by the weathered appearance of an old coin, for beneath the grime of decades could lie a specimen strike or a proof-like surface that has remained protected from the elements. The Bicentennial series and the 1961D Jefferson nickel are the holy grails of modern American pocket change, representing the pinnacle of what a collector desires: rarity, history, and a touch of industrial chaos. If you happen to possess a 1961D nickel that looks remarkably shiny, as if it were minted this morning, you must treat it with the utmost care, as the difference between a 5-cent value and $1 million valuation can be a single microscopic hairline scratch. The market for these coins is not just growing, it is exploding, with new discoveries being made by ordinary people who decided to check their change before spending it. Ultimately, the message is clear. The coins in your possession could be the key to a fortune beyond your wildest dreams, turning the mundane act of checking your wallet into a high-stakes treasure hunt. These rare USA Bicentennial and 1961D Monticello coins are more than just currency. They are financial artifacts that could make you rich overnight and secure your status as a member of the elite collecting world. The hunt for full steps, double dies, and silver-clad errors is a journey that requires patience and a keen eye, but the reward is a life-changing windfall that most people can only dream of. Never spend your old coins without a thorough inspection, because that 1961D nickel might just be the very thing that turns you into a billionaire in today's hungry and competitive market. Thanks for watching, and don't skip, and get ready to next coin. Next up, 1969D Jefferson nickel has emerged as a titan of hidden value, a humble 5-cent piece that conceals a king's ransom beneath its industrial copper-nickel skin. While the Denver Mint struck over 200 million of these coins, the vast majority were released into a world of heavy commerce, resulting in a population of mushy and battered specimens. However, a legendary rarity known as the full steps variety has turned this common date into a financial supernova. For a 1969D nickel to reach this elite status, the reverse side depicting Thomas Jefferson's Monticello must show 5 or 6 perfectly defined, crisp, and unbroken horizontal lines on the building's portico steps. Because the dies used in 1969 were notoriously worn and the striking pressure was often insufficient, finding a coin with these razor-sharp details is an event that occurs once in a generation, propelling the value of a single nickel to an astonishing $33,000 or more at high-end auctions. The allure of the 1969D nickel is amplified by the fact that it carries the weight of a legendary era, minted during the same year humanity first walked on the moon, yet it remains one of the most difficult coins to find in a perfect, mint-state condition. Most survivors from this year are plagued by bag marks, scratches and dings sustained as the coins clattered into heavy canvas bags at the mint. When a specimen surfaces that has escaped this fate, boasting a radiant original luster and the coveted full steps, It creates a frenzy among billionaire collectors who view it as a trophy of perfection. This is not just a coin, it is a mechanical miracle that survived 60 years of history without a single blemish, a fact that makes it one of the most aggressive investments in the rare coin market today. Turning our gaze to the monumental 1776-1976 Bicentennial series, we find a treasure trove of unimaginable worth that could literally turn an ordinary citizen into a billionaire overnight. These dual-dated coins were produced to celebrate 2 centuries of American independence, featuring the iconic colonial drummer on the quarter and the Liberty Bell superimposed on the moon for the Eisenhower dollar. While the standard copper-nickel versions are found in piggy banks across the nation, the secret fortune lies in the 40% silver-clad specimens and the catastrophic minting errors that escaped the facility's quality control. These errors, such as doubled dies where the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear with a ghostly, thick doubling, are viewed by investors as high-stakes assets that command millions of dollars because they represent a unique glitch in the fabric of American history. The potential for a life-changing find is real because many of these bicentennial coins were saved by families as souvenirs, only to be spent decades later by heirs who had no idea they were holding a silver-clad proof or a rare off-center strike. Imagine the shock of realizing that a simple quarter, which was supposed to be worth 25 cents, is actually a unique error struck on a foreign planchet or a silver blank intended for a different denomination. These wrong metal errors are the holy grails of the bicentennial era, and because they are so visually striking and historically significant, their value in today's market has reached heights that would make even the wealthiest investors blush. To find one is to win a lottery that has been circulating in plain sight for 50 years, a silent fortune waiting for a pair of eyes sharp enough to recognize its true identity. The 1969 D-nickel also hides repunched mint marks and die cracks that serve as a fingerprint of the chaotic production lines of the late 60s. These microscopic anomalies, where the D for Denver appears to have been struck twice, or where a jagged line of raised metal runs through Monticello, are the signatures of a machine under stress. In the past, these were dismissed as mere curiosities, but in the modern age of digital auctions and global connectivity, these minting accidents have been re-evaluated as rare works of industrial art. A 1969 D-nickel featuring a major clipped planchet, where a portion of the coin is missing due to a circular cut at the factory, can fetch thousands of dollars, proving that the most valuable things in life are often the ones that are beautifully broken. The Liberty and In God We Trust inscriptions on these coins are not just patriotic slogans. They are the markers of a high-value hunt that spans every state in the Union. The 1969 D-nickel and the Bicentennial series represent a specific window of time when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with new alloys and higher production speeds, leading to the very scarcities that now drive the market into a fever pitch. This conditional rarity is the secret engine of wealth. A coin might be common in your pocket, but it is a multi-million-dollar masterpiece in a high-grade plastic slab. The pursuit of these coins has become a modern-day gold rush, where the tools are not pickaxes and shovels, but magnifying glasses and a deep knowledge of strike quality and metal composition. If you own any USA bicentennial coins or a pristine 1969 D-nickel, you must resist the urge to spend them, as you could be holding a billionaire's token that represents a massive hedge against economic uncertainty. The demand for these artifacts has never been higher, with new records being set every year as private collectors scramble to hide their wealth in physical assets that cannot be printed or duplicated. These coins are the ultimate silent partners in a financial portfolio, increasing in value while they sit quietly in a safe or a velvet-lined box. The stories of people finding a full steps 1969 D-nickel in a forgotten roll of change are not myths. They are the documented reality of a market where luck meets preparation. As you look at the 1969 D Monticello nickel or the bicentennial drummer boy, remember that you are looking at a potential fortune that could change your family's legacy forever. The combination of historical prestige, mechanical error, and extreme preservation has created a perfect storm of value, making these standard circulation coins some of the most sought-after objects on the planet. Whether it is the razor-sharp steps of a 1969D or the silver luster of a 1976 proof, the message is clear. The greatest treasures are often hidden in the most common places. Take 5 minutes to check your change, inspect the mint marks, and feel the weight of the metal, because the difference between a nickel and a fortune is often just a single, microscopic detail. Next up, the high-stakes arena of elite coin collecting, the 1971D Jefferson nickel has recently undergone a dramatic re-evaluation, transforming from a mundane pocket change staple into a legendary asset of unimaginable worth. While millions of these nickels were struck at the Denver Mint, the vast majority were released with soft, blurry details due to the immense pressure of mass production. However, a select few specimens, those that were struck with fresh, razor-sharp dies and managed to avoid the scarring of circulation, possess the full steps designation. On the reverse of the coin, the iconic Monticello home must show 5 or 6 perfectly distinct, horizontal steps without a single scratch or interruption. Finding one of these in a high mint state grade is like discovering a diamond in a coal mine, as the market for these pristine survivors has seen prices skyrocket into the tens of thousands of dollars, making a single 5-cent piece a foundational stone for a billionaire's portfolio. The sheer magnetism of the 1971D nickel lies in its industrial history, specifically the transition of the U.S. Mint's technology during the early 70s. This specific year marked a period where quality control was struggling to keep up with demand, leading to a surplus of coins with weak strikes. Because of this, a 1971D nickel that displays a full, booming luster and a strike so deep it looks three-dimensional is considered a mechanical masterpiece. These coins are often hidden away in original mint rolls, tucked into attic corners or forgotten safety deposit boxes, waiting for a sharp-eyed hunter to realize that their old nickel is actually a rare condition rarity. When these coins hit the auction block, they don't just sell. They spark bidding wars among the world's wealthiest investors who recognize that such perfection can never be replicated. Beyond the nickel, the 1776-1976 Bicentennial series stands as the ultimate frontier for those seeking a fortune that could change their destiny overnight. These dual-dated coins, featuring the colonial drummer and the Liberty Bell superimposed on the moon, were intended to celebrate the spirit of independence, but they ended up creating some of the most valuable errors in human history. While billions of copper-nickel versions were produced, the secret wealth is hidden in the 40% silver-clad versions that were accidentally struck on the wrong planchets or featured catastrophic doubling. These ghost coins, which carry a weight and a ring different from any standard currency, are the holy grails of the bicentennial era, with some experts valuing unique era specimens at millions of dollars in the current hyperinflated rarities market. Imagine the electrical shock of holding a bicentennial quarter where the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear thick and distorted, a phenomenon known as a double die. This occurs when the coin is struck by a die that itself was engraved twice, creating a visual echo that is highly sought after by those with deep pockets. In the past, these were often dismissed as mere factory mistakes, but today they are viewed as irreplaceable artifacts of a bygone era. A single no-S proof or a silver-clad error that managed to slip into a standard circulation bag is essentially a winning lottery ticket that has been circulating for 50 years. These coins have the power to turn a struggling household into a dynasty, provided they aren't spent on a cup of coffee or lost in a vending machine. The Monticello reverse of the 1971D nickel is also a canvas for some of the most lucrative, repunched mint mark errors in the numismatic world. In 1971, the D for Denver was still hand-punched into the working dies, leading to instances where the letter was struck twice, creating a visible overlap. These microscopic errors are the fingerprints of the human workers who built the American economy, and for a collector, they represent a unique moment in time. When such an error is found on a coin that also boasts full steps, the value compounds exponentially. We are talking about a financial asset that is more stable than gold and more portable than real estate. A tiny piece of copper and nickel that carries the value of a luxury mansion within its 5-cent diameter. The allure of the bicentennial dollar is equally intoxicating, especially the Type I and Type II varieties that feature different lettering styles on the reverse. The Type I coins, with their thicker, blockier letters, were the first to be struck and are significantly rarer in high grades. However, the true billionaire makers are the Eisenhower dollars struck on 40% silver planchets that were intended only for collector sets, but somehow found their way into the hands of the public. These silver giants have a brilliant white luster that sets them apart from the dull gray of standard-clad coins. To find one is to touch a piece of the silver lining of American history, a physical manifestation of wealth that has appreciated at a rate that puts the stock market to shame. If you possess any 1971 D nickels or bicentennial coins, you must treat them with the reverence they deserve, as they are essentially hard currency for the future. The rarity of these coins is only increasing as more of them are lost to the melting pot or destroyed by the elements, making the surviving mint-state specimens more precious by the day. Collectors are no longer just looking for old coins, they are looking for story coins, pieces of metal that represent a glitch in the system or a peak of artistic achievement. The 1971 D Full Steps nickel is exactly that, a story of a machine working perfectly at a time when most were failing, resulting in a strike that defies the odds of its era. The market for these coins is not driven by nostalgia alone, but by a cold, hard calculation of scarcity and demand. As the 250th anniversary of the United States approaches in 2026, the demand for bicentennial-era rarities is expected to reach a fever pitch, potentially doubling or tripling the value of already expensive coins. Those who have the foresight to hoard these treasures now are effectively buying into a market that is about to explode. The 1971 D nickel, with its superimposed value of thousands, is the perfect entry point for someone who wants to turn a small investment of time into a massive windfall of cash. It is a game of patience and observation, where the winner is the one who refuses to let a common coin pass through their fingers without a thorough inspection. In the past, these details were known only to a small circle of elite numismatists, but today the secret is out. Your change jar is a potential gold mine. The 1971 D nickel with a clipped planchet or a broad strike era, where the coin is struck outside its retaining collar, can be worth a king's ransom to the right buyer. These errors are so visually jarring that they look like they shouldn't even exist, yet they are legal tender. The fact that such valuable items are still circulating in the wild is a testament to the scale of the American economy and the sheer volume of coins that move through our hands every day. It only takes one discovery to change a life, and the 1971 D nickel is one of the most likely candidates for that discovery. The Liberty and In God We Trust inscriptions on these coins serve as a constant reminder of the values that built the nation, but for the modern treasure hunter, they are also a guide to finding wealth. By examining the spacing of the letters and the crispness of the edges, one can distinguish a common coin from a masterpiece. The Bicentennial series, with its diverse designs and multiple minting locations, offers a vast playground for the ambitious collector. Whether it is a Denver minted quarter with a filled D era or a San Francisco silver proof with a deep cameo finish, the opportunities for profit are endless. These coins are not just currency, they are compressed value, waiting to be released by someone who knows their true worth. The 1971 D Monticello nickel also holds a special place in the hearts of those who appreciate the full 6 steps, rarity, and even higher tier than the 5-step variety. To see all 6 steps on a 1971 nickel is to witness a miracle of physics, as it requires a perfectly aligned die and a maximum pressure strike that was almost never achieved in Denver that year. This level of perfection is so rare that only a handful of examples are known to exist in the world, making them the black pearls of the nickel series. The value of such a coin is essentially price on request, as it represents the absolute pinnacle of what is possible for that specific date and mint mark. As you navigate the world of rare USA coins, you must remember that the most valuable assets are often the ones that have been overlooked for decades. The bicentennial coins were saved by the millions in 1976, but most were kept in poor conditions, leading to tunning, scratches, and loss of luster. A pristine, bicentennial coin is therefore much rarer than people realize, and the market is only just beginning to wake up to this fact. The 1971 D nickel is in a similar position. It was the boring coin of the early 70s, but its scarcity in high grades has made it the breakout star of the modern era. To own one is to own a piece of the American dream, a small, circular fortune that fits in the palm of your hand. The script of your financial future could be written on the surface of a 1971 D nickel, provided you have the discipline to look closely. The superimposed value of these coins is not just a fantasy. It is a reality backed by millions of dollars in annual auction sales and a global network of buyers. From the double Monticello eras of the late 30s to the full steps triumphs of 1971, the Jefferson Nickels series is a treasure map for the 21st century. The bicentennial coins add an extra layer of excitement, with their dual dates and patriotic themes providing a clear marker of a special time in history. Together, these coins represent the unimaginable worth that can be found in standard circulation, a secret wealth that is accessible to anyone with a pocket and a dream. Never forget that the difference between a billionaire and an average person can be as small as a mint mark or a line on a building. The 1971 D nickel and the bicentennial series are the ultimate evidence that value is often hidden in plain sight, masked by the familiarity of everyday objects. The next time you see the 1971 D or the 17761976 date on a coin, don't just see 5 cents or a quarter. See the potential for a fortune that could turn you into a billionaire. The market is waiting, the auctions are calling, and the coins are out there, circulating in the pockets of people who have no idea they are carrying a king's ransom. Your journey into the world of rare coins is a high-speed chase for perfection, where the prize is a legacy that will last for generations. The 1971 D Jefferson nickel and the bicentennial treasures are the keys to a kingdom of wealth that is both tangible and historic. Take the time to learn the details, study the strikes, and protect your finds, because these coins are more than just money. They are the most valuable artifacts of the American spirit. The fortune you seek is not in a distant land or a hidden vault. It is likely sitting in your change jar right now, waiting for you to recognize its unimaginable worth and change your life forever.